Hello, it's Tishy and me, and we are ready for today's historic Home Alone Together, Hunkered Down, Happy Holidays. There she is, and she was kind of upset because I wasn't ready at 4. But I wasn't ready at 4 for a reason. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it was so funny because she came out like, 5:10 after 4, and she's going, like she's crying, what's going on? We're not ready here. And she came up and she sat on the couch. So whatever it is about our little afternoon visit, Tishy likes it. And a good afternoon to you. So Tishy and I are here for our afternoon visit. And I don't know what kind of refreshment you have today, but I have got some good old-fashioned coffee. Yep, I don't usually drink coffee during the day. I have a cup in the morning. But today is kind of an exception. Here's where I tell you why. I had a little bit of powdered creamer. It was French vanilla, which I've had like for years. It just sits there, and I said, "Ooh, I think I'll put that in this afternoon." So it's really an afternoon treat. So one of the things that I wanted to kind of look at today, for me and hopefully for you, is that things don't always work out the way we planned them to, and we have interruptions. And so I'm kind of thinking today about flexible expectations. It was hard for me to say to you, when I messaged, well, it'll be at 4:30 today, hoping that you'd be able to be here and everything. Excuse me. Of course, I know you can be here at any time. But I had a very long night last night because my daughter, who suffers from she's dealing with, I don't want to say she suffers from, but it does give her a lot of pain. She's dealing with ulcerative colitis, and the medication that she gets for that has some pretty nasty side effects. And she's got them. Really bad headaches, psoriasis. If anybody's had to use Humira and can share a little bit about how long do these side effects last and any way to ride them out. She was in such pain last night, and she had to go to work, and she tried to call in, excuse me, and her boss told her, if you're going to call out, you have to do that at least 4 hours before you come in. So, or else you get a ding. I'm pretty sure that's probably what it's about. So she said, Mom, I got to go to work. And this was at, 11 her time, which means it was 1 o'clock in the morning here. So I couldn't sleep knowing my daughter was in such pain and having to go to work. And, it's a mom thing. I'll bet it's a dad thing too, but I don't know because I'm not a dad. But anyway, I wound up just plain couldn't sleep. So consequently, I didn't go to sleep until at least 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was up at 7. So I only had 3 hours sleep really last night. And I was kind of disappointed because, thank you, my decorations didn't get finished. But I got a lot of other stuff done. And so I can share that with you today. So today I want to look at flexible expectations. We all have expectations, and some of them are, as a particular book says, great, great expectations, and that's a good thing. We should have great expectations, but that doesn't always work out. And when that doesn't work out, we tend to get, maybe angry, frustrated, victim consciousness, all the negative, lower consciousness stuff. And what's really most important, you know, there's a great thing we used in seminary, which I use a lot now, and it says, the Bible tells us it came to pass, not it came to stay. So whatever's bothering us, we can, you know, we can say, okay, it came to pass, not to stay. This too shall pass. And the way time goes by, the older you get, man, it goes by so fast. It'll probably be in our rear view mirror pretty darn soon. So what kind of expectations do you have? If you start out with bad expectations, that's not a very good thing. And a lot of people did. They figured, oh my God, this, you know, this holiday season is going to be terrible. I'm not going to see my loved ones. Oh, you know, and I mean, when my girl was hurting so bad last night and I couldn't do a thing about it, and I couldn't do anything but be there for her and try to help her stay positive. And it's not easy, but what I kept trying to tell her, that I try to tell myself when I'm like that, is keep thinking of the positive things. Keep focusing on the positive things. So we adjust. Yes, we expect the best. That doesn't mean we don't prepare for a potential worse. And unfortunately, I have to, she got her little moment in the sun. She's done now. And it's very sad that I got a message just minutes ago from a friend. Sorry, cat hair. I've got cat hair going on. Anybody that owns a cat knows that anything I own has cat hair all over it. Anyway, I found out that one of my classmates passed away from COVID. And I mean, it was a shocker. You know, we have to really treasure every day. Here's the thing. I mean, as far as I know, he was in average health, and, you know, yeah, he was kind of, I think he was a little younger than me, maybe, I don't know. But he was asymptomatic. He had no symptoms. He was diagnosed, and the next day he died from, from respiratory failure. So, you know what? We cannot waste a minute of our life being, you know, mean or resentful or feeling like a victim, because it's all going to add up in the end. You know, it's the way it works out. When I lost Sammy, I thought life would never be okay. But life is okay. And we do get past it. And I do smile. And I do laugh. And that doesn't take away one bit from the loss. And the loss is especially underscored, you know, over the holidays. I think that one of the problems with those of us in the United States, and Tishy's not happy, she's like, now come in here, is I went to, when I was first ordained, I went to a workshop at another church, and it was about the families of people who've lost loved ones in a traumatic way. And they said, you know, in the United States, we don't know how to grieve. You know, with an immediate family member, most businesses will give you 3 days bereavement off. 3 days. And we keep thinking life goes on, you know, we shield our children from these things. And I don't know that that's the best thing, because children come up with what? An off-base expectation of what life and death are all about. So they're just some thoughts that occurred to me, and that was nothing that I wanted to talk about today. Maybe I'm still talking about it because I didn't hit on the big one for today. Today is, Pearl Harbor Day. You know, Pearl Harbor was attacked, and that on December 7th, 1941, and that was before I was born, and my sister was born the next year. But that did bring us really into World War II. And boy, that had to be a pretty crappy Christmas, you know. And how do we honor that day? And I think that that's one thing that we need to find a way to teach our children about the importance of peace and the sacrifice people make for each other. You know, I mean, that's one way to look at it. And so I had to remember it because it needs to be remembered. And I'm hopefully going to leave that behind right now. And remembering the last words of this is happy holidays. We want to, you know, be happy. You know that song, don't worry, be happy. In the end, we'll be happier if we try to not deny pain and suffering and loss in the world, but more to remember the good part. When I do memorial services as a minister, I very often talk to the people who have come, the mourners, and I tell them two things that are important. One is to ask themselves, how would their loved one, their dearly departed, how would they have wanted you to spend your life? How would they have spent their life? And, you know, so what did they really want for you? And they want you to have a good life, I'm sure, the same way as you wanted to have a good life. The other thing I invite them to do is think about what they liked best about the person who passed away, and what they loved most endearing quality or whatever, and whatever that was, to do that. Okay? I have a friend. She's still on the planet, and I hope she stays here for a very long time. She's my friend Kim from Texas, actually kind of almost like a soul sister. And one of the things that always stood out about her is she always smiles at people and says hello. She reaches out, and I'm a very friendly person, but not like Kim. I'm going to share another story with her about her tomorrow, but not today, about how to enjoy these holidays. But with Kim, she was just so outgoing and reaching out to people. She made their day. And I try to remind myself sometimes to be as outgoing to just the person on the street, the person you're walking by. It's an easy thing to do. Alrighty, so let's go back to flexible expectations. When we have things interrupt our flow, I mean, I was kind of like, today, because I wanted to have the decorations done. There were things I wanted to show you, and I couldn't. So I had to say, have a flexible expectation. Now, just not going to get done. I also had to make up my mind that it was just not going to get done, that I was going to have those little salt sculpture ornaments painted and ready to go, because that didn't happen either. Yesterday, as the day wound up and my daughter was having her health problems, and I gave her a little more attention, because when you weigh it all out, that's what needs to happen. I also made fudge. So yeah, the little salt sculptures, they're not going to make the tiny tree this year, but they'll make it next year. And I was able to make peppermint fudge or candy cane fudge. And also I made some chocolate fudge, some dark chocolate fudge. And what I put in it, in one little batch, I put crushed up chocolate covered espresso beans. I chopped them all up. In another one, I put a ton of walnuts. And in another one, I put little marshmallows. So I made 3 little kinds of fudge. And then, of course, the peppermint stick made it 4, or the candy cane fudge. And then I had to, cut it up. And I got this. This is for the little ones. You can take these little boxes that you buy them. They're flat. And you just can put the little treats in them. Now, I sent some. They're packed up, so I can't show them. I got on a roll. Once I was going, I started trucking along. And I found at the Dollar Tree. Love the Dollar Tree. Very hard to find stuff that's not made in China or Vietnam or something. I look for things that are made in the USA, and maybe one day I'll find more. But the thing is, I had they look like little mailboxes. So I had them for the Florida family, so I could send to Tristan and the little ones there. And open up the little thing, and I put the fudge in baggies and slid it in. And but then you just want to have some of these. You can send off to whoever. You can send off one little box of this kind of fudge and one little box. Do you remember when you were in school and you would get these little things full of candy when you went to Sunday school? Oh yeah, we go to catechism in the afternoon. That's another thing when we talk about the importance of church, going to church, having a church family. Back in the day, our religious life, while it was uncomfortable and hateful for some people, which is one of the reasons why we're in the position we're in today, but it also provided a great structure and put religion and spirituality as a nice foundation and framework on how to live a successful and happy life. Yeah, there's stuff wrong with some of the religious woo-woo, but there is also some very important things. Now, if you're feeling offense at what I'm saying, or I'm getting too preachy or whatever, I invite you to go to YouTube and go to my Rise of the False Gods video and look up the one on religion and spirituality. So just tuck that in there. But I used to love to go to catechism, and they gave us Wednesday afternoons off to go to catechism. I never thought about the fact that it had to be one heck of a Catholic area in order to get that off. I don't remember getting Rosh Hashanah or anything off. Although I do think I remember Mark Hodis, who was a friend of mine in school. He was Jewish, and I think I recall him being off for the Jewish holiday. Not fair, I say. But I'm sure he was happy to be able to get out on Wednesdays while the rest of us went to catechism. I don't know, maybe the temple had something. Who paid attention in those days? You know what? It didn't matter. There was no, for us kids, there was no religious prejudice. We didn't care. Oh well. Back to my little cup of coffee. If you're having some coffee, have a lovely sip. And this is my Serenity Prayer cup. And I like it because I hold it and I read that thing and remind myself of the things I need to remind myself about. So, if you have a paper and pencil, I invite you to get it, because one of the things I don't get around to is telling you I'm going to put in the recipes for some of the things I do, and then I don't post it. Sometimes I just don't. So I'm going to have you write it down. That way you'll have it. So I think I'll tell you that first. So to make this great fudge, it's called 3-minute fudge. And you take a 12-ounce package of chocolate chips. Now, one of the things I read said 1 12-ounce package of chocolate chips, one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Now that's sweetened condensed milk, not evaporated milk. Sweetened condensed milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla. That's it. Okay? So you put the chocolate chips, and now you could either use dark milk or white. Now the recipe I have for the white chocolate, the candy cane fudge, that calls for, instead of vanilla, it calls for a quarter teaspoon of peppermint, but it calls for 2 bags of white chocolate chips rather than 1 bag of chips, which is what, I don't know, I haven't made it with the 1 bag, but that one recipe said you could try it. Sometimes you experiment, just not if you're having company over, okay? You want to give yourself wiggle room to toss it out and start over. Anyway, for the white chocolate fudge, I used 2 bags of white chocolate chips and one, oh my goodness sakes, let me just see if that oh Lord, I don't know what to do. That's probably my daughter. Oh, it's my sister. She'll know I'll be back in a minute. Hang on a minute. It's that kind of day. Hello? Hi. I'm doing my video. Haven't been in there. No, I did not. No. I'm doing my video, Valerie. I'm doing it. You're in it. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's go back to what we were doing. Mix the condensed milk. Mix the condensed milk and the chocolate chips. Put it in the microwave for 1 minute. Take it out and stir it, and see how melty the chips have gotten. If the chips are not melty enough, because you know microwave ovens have different wattages or whatever that makes them cook faster or slower. So if it's not enough yet, put it in for 30 seconds and take it out. And if they're melting down and they're not quite melted, keep stirring. Just keep stirring. Add the vanilla or any other flavoring that you're going to use, and keep stirring. I have got a plan for another flavor. I got to get some more white chocolate chips. My idea for the flavor is going to be lavender lemon. Oh, I love lavender. I just have to figure out how to do it. I do have some lemon food flavor, and I think maybe a little bit of grated rind of lemon in there. Ooh, I'm so excited. So anyway, stir it together, and then you pour it into a buttered dish or a dish that you have lined with foil and butter it. Oh yes, one of the suggestions of what you could add to it was peanut butter, also crushed up Oreo cookies. I mean, you can go wild with a bag of chips and a can of sweetened condensed milk. I mean, it's just great. So that's a wonderful thing to do. So I hope you wrote it down. You put the fudge into the baking dish. You don't bake it. Put it into your dish, your buttered dish, and then you just put it in the fridge. And in 2 hours, it's nice and hard. You don't have to keep it in the freezer, in the refrigerator. You don't have to keep it in the refrigerator. You take it out, cut it, and I put mine in airtight containers. And if I'm going to put it in the little box, I make sure it's wrapped lightly in saran wrap or whatever, plastic wrap, or, you know, so isn't that fun? Okay, I think I got 3 minutes left. So I'm use to tell you a quick little story about something. Let me get it. We talk sometimes about gifts and giving and stuff, and this was a Christmas joy. I'm not telling you anything about how wonderful I am. I wanted to share a beautiful and meaningful moment I had. Now, excuse me. I've talked to you before about, the little bag lunches that that I've put together. What are those? The ones that don't spoil, non-perishable little things to put in a bag and hand them out, to the homeless and like that. Well, one day I was out shopping. I was going to the Dollar Tree, and the Michael's was next to it, and I was down in New York at my son's. And there was a man standing outside, and he was kind of talking to himself. And like, so I went into the Dollar Tree, and they have non-perishable foods in there, little packets of tuna and crackers and stuff like that. And I made him up a little bag. And in the bag, I put this snack juice box and a piece of candy and a Santa hat. And I put it in a little bag and I ran out, and I went over to him and I said, "Merry Christmas," and I gave it to him. And I started to walk away, and he said, no, come, no, come. And he reached into his pocket, and he brought out, can you see them? They're 3 little stones that he had in his pocket. And even though he was a street person, and there was probably a couple of cards missing from the deck, he had a consciousness of giving and receiving. And I had given to him, and he gave to me. Now, that was probably 6 or 7 years ago. And the thing is, I keep those little things. And I keep them. This is my little, the salt sculpture we were doing. That's a little baby Jesus in a little manger, and it's a bird's nest that I found that I put it in. So every year this comes out at Christmas, and I take the 3 little stones I got and I put them in the little manger, so it's kind of like little gifts from the 3 kings. So it's just a wonderful and fun thing to do. So think about that. And okay, it is off to my day. Wait a minute. I didn't tell you about the caffeine nap. I got to get that in there. As the holidays approach, even if it's just cleaning the house and stuff that get you tired, you know what? Just make yourself a cup of coffee and then take a nap. 20 minutes is a nap. While you're taking your nap, the caffeine gets into your system, so when you wake up, you're ready to roll. I'm ready to roll. Okay, a good day to you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.